Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world that you are at. I do see a lot of the folks from the Simply Cyber community coming over. Thank you so much for tuning in. Um, we are going to be talking about a little bit more about Microsoft Teams, the exploit that has been put out, what the U.S. Navy has released. And this is more of an educational piece that I want you to be able to take and try to start working through and educating your end users because this is going to be a big, and I'll just go ahead and do this real quick. It's going to be a big deal, right? So we've seen recently, if you look at historic data, you see Lockbit, you see other threat actors that have been exploiting vulnerabilities. SonicWall has been a massive impact over the years. FortiGate has been recently a lot of very problematic, and this is not going to be anything different. So let's dive into this because, like I said, this is going to be more of uh, a sea level, if you will, a 30,000 foot view level, if you will, overview. If y'all do want me to go into a much more technical, how exactly this is done, but the links are in the description. If you want to play with it for yourself, please use this as an educational tool only, but eva- informing your users that this is a possibility. You know what? This could even be an awesome tabletop exercise for your users. This is how this is done. So you're always trying to come up with new tabletop ideas. This will be a good one for you. So let's dive into it. With that said, we are seeing, let me actually move this real quick. That is not good. That'll work. Okay. So it was released, talked about originally right after July 4th holiday. The new tool exploits Microsoft Teams bug for being able to send malware to users. Now, in the Bleeping Computer article, they do show in the graphic, kind of an image of kind of what it looks like. They do also show by default this thing is turned off by so that way you cannot send, and it's actually in another article. Forgive me for that. I'll show that to you in a moment. But they in Microsoft Teams, it is a default that you're not allowed to do this, and this helps bypass it. What's really alarming, and where I want to bring attention to this, that Microsoft spokesperson has told Beeping Computer, we are aware of this report and have determined that it relies on social engineering to be successful. We encourage customers to practice good computer habits online, including exercise caution when clicking on links to web pages, opening unknown files, and accepting file transfers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a big problem with that statement. If this is allowing essentially an IDOR. Okay, so those who don't understand, right, what an IDOR is, right? So let's just say this is going to be a very, very layman's term of thing. So I want to put coffee into my mouth. You take a cup up and do that. An IDOR, that's what's called a direct object reference. You're directly pouring the coffee from your cup into your mouth and digesting it. An indirect, this is going to be a very crude analogy, but it's the only one that come off my head. You drill a hole in the side of your cheek and with a straw, and you're pouring it in. It's indirectly ejecting liquid into your mouth that in a fashion that you are not attempting to have. And that's really a crutch of what an indirect or an IDOR is. So you're ejecting potential code into a web application to make it do something it's not supposed to do. And again, the coffee analogy. So this is what that vulnerability comes in. There was one of the security researchers, JumpSec Labs. Again, links are all completely down in the description in the bottom there, and you could definitely read through this. They a lot of times if you are heavily into Teams, you will see that you always get that message when an external person is trying to send you a message. Do you want to accept it or not? A lot of like, your social media, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagrams, all of these things, right? So it's nothing new, to have an external banner. This is by design. That's the way you want it to do. So that way your users are more aware that this is not a trusted source and treat it as such. But as you can see here, when you're doing external communications, file upload is possible, not grayed out through this particular situation, right? So this is a major, major issue. And again, Microsoft is not going to freaking fix this. And also, third link down there. This is a kind of more of a technical walkthrough of how you do things, but we'll kind of jump right into the excuse all the extra tabs here. This is actually the tool that was released, and this is a simple Python script that you can run. And a lot of folks will do this, right? They will simply put an WSL, Windows Subsystem Linux, and fire this thing up under a Linux VM that's running on your native workstation. You literally just put in your targets as a text file, and it will execute. Let's see if we can get this thing to blow up. I'm not sure if you guys, ladies and gentlemen, can see that very well. Let's see, open image and tab. There we go. Let's try to blow that up. So it's a very simple. I mean, they're using Kali. Kali is good and all that, but whatever. You're using your Microsoft tenant, the on Microsoft.com, with your local password. You're using your targets files. You're sending an attachment. That -A is your attachment. Salaryinfo.zip. And you're pre-constructing a message as a text file, right? So basically, what that looks like, this is the text file that you pretty much put together, so you're going to be sending this out as a massive blast. So you're pretty much phishing a team, right? So this is definitely something that's going to be massively problematic. Again, something that you could definitely take as a tabletop exercise in your end users. Like, all the links are below. I know I've said that a dozen times, but you know, take this and use it for your own internal organization. Do it. Educate your users, because these are not showing up as external. And flat out, Microsoft has no intention of fixing this. So, as security practitioners and those who are managing and defending the gates of your organization, take the time, educate your users, and you know make your organization more secure. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, if y'all want me to do a more technical deep dive walkthrough and showing exactly how this works, we can definitely do that next week, and we can be able to redo this thing if you want. With that, please smash that like button if this was enjoyable to you. Please subscribe. We do have more content coming out. We've been getting a lot of people coming over from guest hosting Dr. Gerald Ozier's stream while he was out on vacation, asking for for us to do more of a walkthrough. It's more of a technical deep dives a little bit, and so this is you guys are asking for it. So this is what we're doing. Again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Until next time, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites, they were the same. A criminal then found their fame by taking that data to go.
Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account and go.